G'day guys, today we are talking about the single arm T-bar row is how I'm going to describe it. I dare say there potentially might be a better way to describe this exercise. However, I refer to it as a single arm T-bar row. Maybe you refer to it as single arm barbell row. However, I think T-bar row makes sense. So we're going to go with it, single arm T-bar row. Now, what are we looking to do? Obviously, the barbell will hinge off our oh God, I can't remember what the hell that's called. Our point of contact there. What is that called? Oh, that's going to drive me insane. Anyway, so we know that we're going to travel in this line here. Now, that being said, we then want to make sure that we manipulate our body in order to suit where it's connected to. So, whenever I'm doing this particular exercise, what I am looking to do is start the barbell's end point over the line of my foot, but starting on the inside line. So you can see how its finish point is starting at the inside of my foot. That is where I want to start. Now, I also want to start slightly off center. Now, you might opt for a different approach. You might want to go a much more of a righter angle to hit those rear delts a great deal more. However, whenever I try and do this, I'm using this row as just as a nice single arm row variant to a dumbbell row or any single arm dumbbell, any single arm row. So by standing slightly off center, I'm going to engage a little bit more lats. So instead of coming in at say a right angle like so, I'm going to come in at a 45. And that's just how I like to execute this lift. It feels a lot more smoother and has a nice range of motion. Now, because this is a free weight exercise, we want to make sure that we shore up our hips in order to protect our lower back. We also want to talk about making sure that we have stability through our upper back so that we are targeting the right muscles. So let's talk about our feet first. Again, we're going to line the end of the barbell up with the inside of our foot, or the working hand's foot. Now, what we want to do here is that we're going to screw our feet into the ground and push our knees out. By doing so, that external torque through the ground is going to activate our backside. Now, by doing so, when we are in this position here, our lower back's not going to take all the load. So if we're off and we're rowing through here, we're going to get a lot more force coming through our lower back. Whereas if we slightly turn our knees out, engage those glutes, they're going to take a great deal of our upper body's weight, which is what they're designed to do. And then we can keep nice and stable and still. Now, stability. Why is stability so important? Well, it works. It's the first point of our acronym. The acronym that I want you to remember, and I'll drum it into you, is STEP. And the acronym stands for stability, tension, execution, then we track our performance. Now, stability. By creating a nice stable base to pull from, you're always going to create the most amount of tension and get the most amount of activation. Now, you accumulate that over a long period of time, you're going to get the most bang for your buck or most results that you possibly can. So, when we are doing this particular exercise, the way we create stability is pulling our shoulder blades back and down. We know that in every row or any back exercise, the weight wants to pull us forward and take us out of this position, okay? So it wants to take us from this position here, pull us out. It is our responsibility to make sure that we keep the tension on. Now, a lot of people might be sitting at home going, well, Rick, we want to be able to reach forward and pull back, okay? Now that's moving into ranges of motion. So let's talk about this. Whenever we do a row or a back exercise, they talk about stretching out and pulling back in, okay? Now, this in itself is a skill. And the reason it's a skill is because although, yes, we want to take that muscle through its full range of motion, we still need to keep tension on, because without tension we don't grow. And there's a principle called time under tension in order to hypertrophy and get stronger. So tension and stability are our two major points at this particular point in time. So by pulling our shoulder blades back and down, you'll notice that I actually can't reach that far forward and get that stretch. Now this is where the skill comes into it, and that we need to be able to create stability, tension on, reach, and pull through. And when we're coming down into this reaching pattern, we don't want to go lax off and fall out of position, but we want to make sure our shoulder blades back and down, we're pulling through, or probably not rotating, but we're pulling through, squeezing, and then we're reaching down, but we're not losing that, we're not going lax, we're not allowing the weight to take us out. Keep that tension on. So, this exercise, we set up, screw our feet in, knees go out. Now I'm going to go slightly off center because I want to go to 45. All right, I'm going to grab the end of the barbell. Now, some people might opt to use a bit of chalk here or a strap. By all means do so because of where the handle is, it's a lot thicker, so you might need a little bit more grip on that particular handle. Again, screw our feet in. I'm going to be slightly off center again. The reason being is so I can pull at a 45, but you can go straight on and go at a right angle. Screw our feet in, knees are going to go out, shoulder blades back and down. You're going to take a big deep breath and brace. Now this, my right hand's going to go on the inside of my right knee, and that's because I want to be keeping a nice straight back and not twisting nor rotating. So this is purely a stability thing for my right hand. Okay, so screw them in, shoulder blades back and down. We're going to grab a hold and grab a good handful. Okay, from this position we're going to come up and we're going to row towards the armpit. And that's where I want to take this, because I'm trying to work majority of the upper portion of my back. So my muscles like my rhomboids, my rear delts, my traps, I'm working right up and in this section here, right around this scapular section of my back, driving right into these minor muscles. Obviously, if you wanted to get that whole back experience, you're probably better off just doing a normal T-bar row or any other row. But this is a really good upper back exercise. So again, shoulder blades back and down, big deep breath in, hand here for stability, and then slightly on 45, or if you want to go to a right angle, you can. I'm going to go 45, shoulder blades back and down, coming up and pulling towards that armpit and keeping it nice and tight, and just follow that natural range as to where that bar wants to go. Team, that there is how you go about doing a single arm T-bar row.